It's time to look up traditional methods or passive methods of cooling and bring down your AC demand in cities, as heat waves have been declared as a notified natural calamity in August 2026 in India, and we do not want to intensify it. While we look at ways of how to curb it, this is also an opportunity area for green jobs. But let me explain from the very beginning. Today, while poverty remains India's biggest challenge, we also face another growing challenge with higher intensity and more frequent events likely every year in cities, the urban heat island effect. It's a man-made phenomenon, and the National Disaster Management Authority (NDMA) under Home Affairs takes emergency response. But what is more interesting is that the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, MAHUA, is the one that is making interventions for mapping high heat zones, developing new cooling techniques and guidelines, and restoring parks and water bodies for long-term urban resilience. Because this has been caused by what we built and moved in cities, basically buildings and transport, rather than water channels and green parks. Referring the Urban Act Climate Conscious Cities webinar on cooling strategies, which talks about this challenge across Asia and the specific interventions that they have been taking in India as well, the message is clear. Urban heat has become a compounding national problem, and while there are strategies of building neighborhood and city level, there is an unexpected turnaround needed in the entire way new construction and retrofitting should be happening, and we are not ready. One of the key messages that the Urban Act webinar provides is demand management. The series is bold enough to define that heat is the new operating system. The webinar puts across a very valid point that 80% of all buildings that will be standing in 2050 is already here, and therefore retrofitting is a large space to introduce interventions. Here, buildings need to look at passive cooling strategies rather than mechanical cooling. In 2050, 24 years from now, and we may not be living then, but it is significantly important for the world we leave behind. Therefore, in residential area, 3 well-known strategies of shading, insulating, and ventilation really need to be undertaken without locking house in high energy consumption. This has potential to even reduce household electricity consumption by about 35%. Further, one may optimize with highly efficient fans and then supplement with solar and renewable energy and smart controls. Bringing down demand is important for everyone, because when AC demand surges, it strains power grids and releases further harmful gases. So, coming to the main section of this series, what are the jobs that emanate and at what geographies? Every challenge brings with it a whole gamut of opportunities. UHI effect is bringing in a demand for urban planners, green infrastructure specialists, those who can design and talk about parks and water bodies, passive cooling architects, spatial data and analytics, urban digital twin modelers, policy and public health coordinators, and occupational health safety instructors. While specialized skills of data analytics and modeling may be limited at major cities and with reputable institutions, operational requirements will be all across India in cities and districts.